Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just allow 1 more minute for the people who are coming in to come, and then we can start. Okay. Good morning once again, and thank you so much for joining the Stanbic Holdings PLC 2023 Sustainability Launch. To kick us off, I'll guide you on where the facilities are, and then we'll be able to commence the program. To my right, we've got 2 exits, emergency exits, one on this side and the other one towards the middle. The washrooms are located, if you come outside the room, turn left and walk right down towards the end and another left. We'll be taking videos and photos during the session. In case you feel uncomfortable for your photos to be taken, please let the team know in advance, and we'll be able to manage that beforehand. Kindly, I would request, keep your phones silent, and welcome to the event. Enjoy the day. Allow me to go into the acknowledgements. Our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Frank Muti, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, Principal Secretary for the State Department for Investment Promotion in the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, Honorable Abubakar Hassan, Mr. Henry Ritha, Chief Executive Officer, Micro and Small Enterprise Authority, CPA Charles Matibo, Chief Executive Officer, Kenya Industrial Estate, Mr. Timothy Nzioka, the Director of Program Operations for Africa at USADF, our Board Chairman, Mr. Joe Muganda, and the board members present, our Chief Executive for Stanbic Bank Kenya in South Sudan, Dr. Joshua Igara, members of our Kenya Leadership Council at Stanbic, colleagues, esteemed partners, investment community, and clients, members of the Fifth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the Stanbic Holdings PLC Sustainability Launch. Thank you for making time to join us today. My name is Priscilla Were, the Head of Sustainability for Stanbic Bank. Sustainability disclosure is a critical requirement, not only from our shareholders, but from all the stakeholders that we engage in. The reporting not only gives us an indicator of the organization performance, but also highlights the sustainability commitments for which we should account for. As a listed entity, we serve multiple stakeholders, and we are committed to driving growth sustainably. We have the responsibility of being transparent and accountable to all our stakeholders through timely and credible information, which we do through our annual integrated report and our sustainability report. Today, we launch our 2023 sustainability report, which details how we generated sustained and maximized positive impact on society, environment, and the economy, aligned to our theme, creating shared value by living our purpose. I'm sure as you walked all around the compound, you've seen the theme, shared value, creating shared value by living our purpose. Outside, we've got some of the beneficiaries of the grants that we've given, and they're selling their products out there and showcasing their products, kind of contributing to the journey that we've created and the impact we've created in their lives. If you're interested after the event, please feel free to pass by and check out some of the products. Our sustainability report also contains disclosures on how we managed environmental, social, and governance risks, including climate risk, and the impact associated with the Kenya and South Sudan business and operating environment. Today's event is not only an opportunity for us to hear from the leadership team at Stanbic, but it's also an opportunity for us to listen to key leading voices in sustainability in Kenya present today. In addition, we'll be able to get to award winners of the 4th cohort of our USAIDF Stanbic Foundation program that equips small businesses with funding and capacity building for sustained growth. And finally, we will unveil our 2023 sustainability report. However, it's important to note that over the years, there has been an increased emergency and call to action for climate-related issues globally. In fact, in 2023, the climate change continued to be a core challenge. A World Meteorological Organization report confirmed that 2023 was the warmest year on record. According to the report, heat waves, floods, droughts, wildfires, and rapidly intensifying tropical cyclones caused misery and mayhem, upending everyday life for millions and inflicting billions of dollars in economic losses. Further, locally here in Kenya, in the last 2 years, we've seen adverse weather conditions characterized by drought and floods, which have had devastating effects on people, with loss of life, food insecurity, poor sanitation, and loss of homes. This, among other reasons, is why we believe that sustainable investment is key, and especially now. The private sector has a significant role to play, with Africa's sustainable financing gap until 2030 is estimated to be about $106 trillion. It is crucial that funding is channeled towards initiatives, projects, and solutions that support sustainable development. Stanbic recognizes the vast potential and opportunity that lies in this continent. We are committed to creating shared value within Kenya and South Sudan, and we do this by maximizing positive impact and effectively managing risk. Through international and meaningful partnerships, we believe we can drive the continent's growth and transform journeys and lives sustainably and innovatively. We also believe that we need to measure our progress so we can effectively chart the future. Our 2023 sustainability report responds to this. This report can be obtained from our website under the Investor Relations page. As we reflect on our achievements today and the achievements for 2023, I hope that you'll all be inspired and challenged to adopt sustainability as a core element of your businesses. I hope that you get to enjoy this event and join us in celebrating the positive impact that we've recorded in the past year, of course, in partnership with our stakeholders. Welcome once again, and thank you for joining us. I now welcome our Chief Risk Officer, who's also the custodian of sustainability in the bank, to give his remark. Thank you.
Sorry. Morning, everyone. The last time I stood on a podium like this, I was announced as a winner of a golf event. And I feel like starting by saying, thank you for letting us win. As I cover the few remarks that I wish to make, I'll take Priscilla's lead on the acknowledgements and just state that we've invited a number of people who are going to speak to you. And please allow me to just move on with the few remarks that we've prepared. First is good morning. I'm honored and delighted to have you here as we unveil the second edition of our sustainability report. This is the second time we've issued this report. We did that last year. and it continues to tell our story on the impact that Stanbic Holdings is making in our community. As the Chief Risk Officer and Chair of the Sustainability Agenda at Stanbic, I have the privilege of overseeing our journey towards a more resilient and sustainable future. The role is not just a professional commitment, but a personal one, as well as I believe that sustainability and risk management are interconnected and vital for the long-term success of the organization. Our purpose, Kenya and South Sudan are our home, we drive our growth, is true to the theme of creating shared value by living our purpose as we work towards creating sustainable value for the society and our stakeholders. And we are clear on our approach to sustainability. We maximize positive impact and effectively manage risk. For this reason, we integrate sustainability into our operations, solutions, and partnerships, ensuring all three elements have a positive impact. We have enabled this through sustainable capital deployment practices, innovative products and services, robust internal operations, and relevant partnerships and disclosures. Reflecting on the past year, there were a number of significant achievements we made in 2023. Our commitment to environmental, social, and governance principles, ESG as it's popularly known, has not only strengthened our operational and risk framework, but also enhanced our reputation as a responsible and forward-thinking institution. These achievements are a testament of the support of our stakeholders and the dedication of our employees. Focused on 4 areas, which I think you will see in a number of the information we've put out, we not only aligned our business activities to solve for Kenya and South Sudan challenges, but we continue to use the robust frameworks to effectively manage any associated ESG risks. In the face of increased climate-related risks, evolving stakeholder expectations, we welcome the move by the government of Kenya to introduce a green finance taxonomy as part of its effort to build capacity to support the transition to a low-carbon and climate-resilient economy. Internally, our proactive measures have been instrumental in ensuring the resilience of both our business and the communities we serve. We have developed a comprehensive risk assessment frameworks that integrate sustainability considerations, allowing us to anticipate and mitigate potential impacts effectively. This approach not only safeguards our assets, but also reinforces our commitment to sustainable development. What this has culminated to is a group that delivers solutions and processes that facilitate Kenya and South Sudan's developmental needs sustainably and within prescribed regulatory and risk confines. At the heart of our sustainability strategy are our employees. They are a driving force behind our progress, and we are committed to investing in their knowledge and skills. By empowering them to champion sustainable practices, we are cultivating a culture of responsibility and innovation that extends beyond the organization. Collaboration is essential to our success. We have forged strong partnerships with industry leaders, government bodies, development finance institutions, community organizations, and other strategic partners, enabling us to accelerate our progress towards shared goals. These collaborations are vital as we work together to shape the bank of the future, one that is resilient, inclusive, and sustainable. Transparency and open communications are fundamental to building trust with our stakeholders. We are dedicated to providing clear and comprehensive disclosures into our sustainability efforts and progress. The commitment to transparency not only strengthens our relationships, but also ensures our ability to drive meaningful change. As we look to the future, our strategy will continue to embed sustainability as a core pillar in the way we do business. This strategy reaffirms our dedication to advancing ESG principles, driving sustainable growth, and securing a brighter future for generations to come. We understand that the path to sustainability is continuous, and we are committed to adapting and evolving to mitigate challenges and tap into opportunities. I extend my gratitude to all our stakeholders for their unwavering support and collaboration. Together, we have achieved significant milestones on our sustainability journey. We continue to work together collaboratively, and I am confident that we will achieve even greater milestones. In closing, I wish to comment as follows. As a leading financial services institution, we are clear on our role and are committed to delivering on our sustainability commitments for our clients, partners, and communities. We will therefore continue to embed sustainability in our business, ensuring that we create value for stakeholders responsibly. Thank you for being an integral part of the journey, and I look forward to our continued progress and success. At this point, I would like to invite our Chief Executive, Dr. Joshua Oigara, to give his remarks. Welcome, Joshua.
Thank you very much, Edwin, and let me just welcome all the members for joining us this morning and use Priscilla's salutations, which were spoken at the beginning. We have many guests who will speak this morning, and Frank, thank you for joining us to share your keynote, and my good friend Abakar, thank you for joining us today. I will start by giving a little story. And Priscilla has done all the work. So the dashboard that Priscilla has set up, I was speaking a little bit more about the achievements. But when I look at the dashboard she set up, a lot of my remarks actually have been given up by Priscilla. So I wouldn't repeat. And when you see the Unveiling report, we have a fantastic roadmap on the progress you've achieved. But in the last few weeks or the few months, I got a chance to travel to Washington, D.C. and to just recently from Johannesburg. And you see a lot of change of what the world has been. The Western Hemisphere is struggling with huge temperatures at this moment. I think you're seeing US achieving temperatures more than 100 Fahrenheit degrees. And my friends in Johannesburg and Cape Town are saying it is extremely cold at this particular moment of time in July. It just tells you a little bit more about what the world has seen. And so the issue about building shared values and creating joint prosperity remains a massive amendment and perhaps the greatest thing for this generation that we have. If I remember many years ago, 2000 and before, and Frank, you'll be a witness, many organizations, especially in the US, global companies in Fortune 500, never really thought so much about sustainability. What really mattered is what is your financial performance, and that's when you start in the floors, when you're ringing the bell at NYC, people never thought about what the future will be. But my view today is the world has completely changed, and we live in a different environment today. When you reflect just the challenges our young people are facing in our country today, whether you see them as protests or you see them as challenges for enterprise or job creations, it tells you that you cannot really build an economy or a world without involving every single person in the midst. And that's the role we play as business and as a financial institutions, to come in and say, what can we do much more to build collectively, to bring in much more people into the enterprise? The businesses you'll be seeing today, the work being done by Stanbic Bank and Stanbic Foundations today, the younger businesses you see that are showcasing their products outside today, the ones that will award with USADF in terms of the work that they're doing for Kenya. And I think the challenge for business, as Edwin has mentioned, is fundamentally the construct is much more difficult today. That we must be convicted to build collectively the future of a better planet for our next generation. And by using business and enterprise as an anchor for that kind of development or that kind of change. And that's what really perhaps in this life and in this generation's leaders of enterprise, I'm very much sure and certain that business that are bringing in shared value in the enterprise will see the next generation. And that's really important for people to see. So when you deliver strong returns, having a lens of the next 10 to 20, 30 years is really where the value will be for us as an organization. So getting a better planet, a well-being planet, is perhaps a much more important role today, more consequential actually for businesses than it has been before. And when we sit today to speak about what has been the journey so far. So the report today, whether love the team has done is to build great transparency and accountability of what you're doing as an institution. And so the report is available for everyone else to challenge. This is kind of a progress to measure our progress, where we are today. The ambitious journey we have for the next 3 to 4 years. Obviously, we do find obstacles in the process where we are as an organization, and we continue to develop our pathway for our future as an organization for sustainability. So that's really the critical part, where we sit with our partners, with our clients, with our stakeholders, with governments across the regions here in South Sudan, to be able to progressively achieve the agenda of change in the future. But I want to focus on 4 main areas Edwin mentioned about before I invite Frank Mwiti to come and give his keynote remarks. So 4 main priorities that we are focusing largely. You may see the themes in the report we'll unveil today. One of them is on enterprise development and job creation. And never in our time, in the history of the planet, has there been so much construct of problems about creating jobs and also creating growth businesses, and especially small enterprise. And the role for larger businesses is to really to interconnect the SMEs, and from SMEs connecting to the micro enterprises and creating the jobs that you have. And just give you some data points that I remember from last year in 2022. I don't have the data for last year. Kenya was creating just shy of 100,000 jobs every year. Close to 98, 99, 100,000 to say. Of those, 90% were informal jobs. But we can't build an economy where every single role you have is an informal job. Ultimately, we need to transition into medium income, ultimately create formal jobs, and that is what will create economies as you see in Far East and perhaps in southern parts of the world, in Southern America. And that's an area we want to. So if you look at the disbursement of funds we've done as an institution, our partnership with the work being done by Pauline, the team as Stanbic Foundations, that really shows you the catalyst that we want to do to build that business of SME growth. The team in business and commercial banking is working very hard on that area to create the jobs that we face in the next 10 to 20 years. And nowhere than in Kenya, where we have between 4 and 5 million youth looking for those opportunities, does business really interconnect in the center, especially for banking, we're in the center of that transformation. The second one is around how do we enable strong infrastructure and a just energy transition. So a lot of these difficulties and challenges you've seen across many of our sectors is how do you get, so energy, a lot of partnerships we've done, is it renewable energy, is it clean energy? How are you going to be able to transition? Is it solar work, is it the wind? What are we going to be able to do to be able to invest and support a lot of our clients, businesses, individuals to be able to migrate, and also invest in key infrastructure? You have to do both to be able to support and grow. And that's what you will see our large commitments, even in terms of the funding available, more than $100 million invested by the bank in those areas in the short to medium term. And that's a long-term commitment for ourselves. The third item is on financial inclusion. And you'll agree that, whether it's by training or financial fitness, whether we're using technology, digitizing our solutions and services, bringing more customers into our business areas, that's really valuable for us to be able to build. So Anjali and the team that we have in insurance asset management, how are we investing and training? More than 20,000 of either individuals and businesses have largely been trained to build the future of financial business, but through Financial Fitness Academy. And finally, on climate resilience. It's a big area for us to reimagine. When I look at the extreme temperatures we see, even just the cold season you face in Nairobi today and the prediction of a long dry season until the rains in September and October. Some of these things must reflect about what the future. Sometimes what I sense every day I walk around is sometimes we don't have the lens to see what the medium term looks like. We're too much focused on the short term. And I can assure you many people really can't do much to change the short term. What you can influence perhaps starts to have a different construct is the next 2 to 3 to 5 years. If you look at elements like SDGs, which are coming up into final review in 2030. So organizations like ourselves must be able to invest much more collectively with our partners, with other financial institutions, to be able to say, how do we build a much more growth momentum for the medium to long term? And in this case, I'm focusing much more on what is going to be done in 2030, what's going to be done in the next decade. This is the only way we can shift the conversations we see. And climate change goes beyond. We committed ourselves in terms of building, how do we green our planet, whether it's a tree planting campaign we have, how do we do with our utilization of resources, How do we do with our own carbon emissions? And those are areas we're going to be able to screen our facilities we offer. So those four remains largely the strongest pillars of how we see sustainability. And so when you see the measures, which Priscilla has done a good job by just taking away my speech by positioning, the work that we have done, which is a great job actually for me. So I don't have to repeat the work that we've done in the last year. Our lending, green lending, our percentage of our portfolio, which is becoming much more green, our disbursements to sustainable linked facilities we are doing today, what we are doing for housing and home loans in the market. If you look at our diversity and inclusions, the gender push we've done in our organization and growth, that work is already been pushed. And thanks, Edwin, for posturing that in the sustainability report on page 4 and 5. So it's a good journey, finally. When I look at the momentum, what matters, in my view, is the journey for progress. Sometimes what you're looking for is, are we there yet? This is a journey that you don't reach the end. We're going to be able to start a race, hand over baton, have the next generation, as Edwin says earlier, and therefore that is how we save and future-proof our planet. And so when I see this kind of gathering and you're coming, it excites me that momentum and building together. A few years ago, very few people, Frank, were willing to come and speak about their own commitments and share them in a public platform. And today, you're seeing a lot of people interconnected in that moment. So thank you for listening to me, and I will ask you, we put our hands together to invite Frank to come and share his, please welcome, his remarks and keynote remarks for this morning for the next agenda. Thank you very much, Frank, for joining us.
A lot of people, when they see my photo, they expect a very tall guy. So this is me. Thank you. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I like starting with Proverbs, because I like collecting Proverbs. I think they pack a lot of wisdom. So let me share one. I will share another one when I'm done. This one is from Sierra Leone. And it goes, when you're hunting elephants, you don't stop to throw stones at birds. Think about that one. Now, it gives me great pleasure to join Stanbic and your leadership team here, and other stakeholders, of course, during this monumental event as the bank launches its second sustainability report. I am very delighted, and of course extend hearty congratulations as the NSE and the entire capital markets ecosystem to Stanbic on the achievement of this milestone. It is actually very admirable, as Joshua said, that you stand up to scrutiny on matters sustainability, which many entities are shy to provide transparency and reporting on. Over the past few years, we've witnessed both domestic and international investors increasingly prioritizing companies' performance on various sustainability and ESG metrics. The focus stems from a growing recognition that robust sustainability and ESG practices are in fact critical and integral to long-term financial performance and risk management of any business, as well as an indication of how the business sees its role in society. Investors are increasingly scrutinizing how companies and businesses address matters such as climate change, social equity, and ethical governance, viewing these as factors, again, that are really critical indicators of sustainability, resilience, and purpose. As a result, companies that demonstrate leadership in these areas are more likely to attract investment, enhance their reputation, secure competitive advantages in today's very, very competitive and dynamic market. To put this in perspective, a recent survey by EY conducted among institutional investors shows that over 98% of investors are signaling a move towards a more disciplined and rigorous approach to evaluating a company's performance on sustainability before allocating investments. The global shift is very critical, such that some of the world's largest asset managers, fund managers, big names like BlackRock, Amundi, and the like, have actually made commitments to stop investing in investments that are not sustainable, that are not climate friendly, that do not challenge matters to do with climate resilience and doing good as part of doing business. So you're not wrong, Stanbic, in being very focused on what you're doing as a business. I was reading your report, you even have sustainable growth as one of your key strategic pillars. So you're not wrong. You're actually on the right side of history, I would say. In April this year, the Nairobi Securities Exchange team was in London for an investor roadshow that targeted global institutional investors. The feedback we received pointed to investors expecting Kenyan businesses to perform well on sustainability metrics in order for them to attract investments. And we expect, actually, there will be shareholder activism on this theme. So I, again, echo the points made by the previous speakers that this is not just now a matter of just making money or ticking a box. This is absolutely fundamental to the growth of your business and the sort of stakeholders that will come to you. Issues such as having women well represented on the board and executive levels of management, matters to do with environmental stewardship, aspects of upholding human rights and dignity were highlighted as significant themes. And I'm glad to know that Stanbic is performing well in these areas as highlighted in the report. It is therefore clear that if you do want to actually remain relevant, harness growth opportunities, in fact, even recruit, you do have to actually take this theme about sustainability very, very seriously. As business leaders, especially in the financial services sector, a critical question that arises is, does adopting sustainable business practices impact on the long-term value of the organization to all your stakeholders? I would like to implore you that sustainability, again, is not an issue of ticking a box. And us at the NSC are keen to emphasize that, particularly to our listed companies, that this is not an issue about ticking a box. You have to live the theme. And I'm glad I'm seeing some of the metrics here that Stanbic is doing. It's more clear than ever that these choices can profoundly influence how you grow value, the impact you have on society, and more importantly also, the long-term success of your business. As a regulator, we at the NSC have consistently advocated for the adoption of sustainable practices by companies in Kenya. To support this initiative, we have dedicated resources to facilitate the country's progress towards achieving sustainable development goals. This effort has allowed Kenyan companies to make significant advancements in sustainability, surpassing many of our regional peers. And I'm confident that this proactive approach will become even more crucial as compliance requirements for sustainability come into force in the near future. We are continuously collaborating with various local and international stakeholders to help companies adopt best sustainability practices and to develop products and market infrastructure solutions that support sustainability for the entire capital markets ecosystem. Just to highlight some of the things that we're doing, we've launched the ESG Disclosure Guidance Manual. That was back in 2021. where together with the Capital Markets Authority, we put together ESG disclosure guidance that aligns with international standards. And this manual and guidance marked a pivotal moment in Kenya's reporting landscape, which is crucial to standardizing sustainability information and enabling companies in Kenya to report effectively so that then they can also be judged on global terms with other peers. We are currently reviewing this, and of course we welcome any input from yourselves to take that even higher. Secondly, we've been pushing around sustainable finance, specifically green bonds, as well as making some progress around creating a carbon trading platform so that Kenya, because you may know, of course, Kenya, and I know, Joshua, you also oversee South Sudan, but if I speak to Kenya, we are facing a substantial financing gap to achieving SDGs. Billions, if not trillions, are required annually to address critical areas such as climate action and, of course, other related themes like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. We think sustainable finance will have to be centerfold for all financial players. But one thing is clear, in our market, we don't necessarily have a liquidity issue. We don't necessarily have a financing issue. We have a structuring problem. We also have an origination problem. The ability to bring bankable projects that can tap sustainable finance there's a gap. And I think Stanbic can play a very crucial role in helping bridge that gap. The NSE launched a green bond market a while back, the idea being to attract private sector investment into sustainable projects. What we have seen is that there is funding looking for opportunities, but there are minimal or limited opportunities. So I think my pledge, or rather my prayer to the Stanbic Group is that you make more effort to help bridge that gap between funding that's available versus the actual projects, because the origination of the projects is missing. We also launched, as I said, a program to start a carbon trading platform. We're engaging with different partners. We welcome more of you into that, so feel free to reach out to the NSE if you are keen on participating in the carbon trading market. And we think that will also be a key element to that. On gender diversity and inclusion, NSE has taken a leading role in promoting diversity and inclusion, and we can see Stanbic as well is doing the same. Our aim is to work with listed companies who are within our limits to enable us to move the needle on matters diversity and inclusion. And the last thing that I want to point out is we have started an initiative specifically to support SMEs, to help link SMEs to providers of working capital solutions. We have a conversation going with Stanbic on how they can support that. We think it is particularly important to pay attention to MSMEs. They are the future engine of our market, and I think that they need more support than ever, especially given some of the things that are ongoing in our country. And I do think that it's important that big financial institutions like Stanbic also continue to participate in that. I think I saw down at the bottom there that you're trading MSMEs as well. So what's my call to action? I want to take this opportunity to encourage companies in Kenya to advance their sustainability agenda, to be very, very particular on transparency around reporting. I think it's important that we provide the right information to the market. As I said, we are seeing investors actually increasingly asking for this sort of information as one of the key decision points. as far as investment is concerned. We want to see more collaboration between banks, exchanges, and regulators in order for us to unlock the opportunities that sustainability presents, and more importantly, to achieve the impact that this theme can do to our society. Equally, we are partnering with international organizations such as the GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative, as well as the UN Compact, to develop more streamlined, standardized disclosure standards, so that then it's easier for entities like yourself to disclose in a way that everyone agrees is simple, understandable, and clear. Lastly, we are going to continue to push for better corporate governance for all entities that are in our ecosystem. And we think you can't talk governance if, in fact, this theme is not one of the themes that you have clear responses to. Lastly, I think it is to say our country is changing. I think it is changing for the better. I think that we all, our youth, support in terms of how we give them opportunities to participate in the economy. I think this theme actually is one of the themes that can actually unlock that. And I do hope that at the end of all these processes, we will actually end up with a more sustainable Kenya. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to reading the report in more detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frank Mwiti. Let's give him a round of applause once again. Thank you, Dr. Joshua and Edwin as well. Let's give them a round of applause. And as Frank has said, sustainability is not just about ticking a box, but an everyday choice to add value and a shared purpose. Without further ado, allow me to call once again our Chief Executive, Dr. Joshua Igara, to usher in the next speaker, Honorable Abubakar Hassan. Joshua, please welcome.
Thank you very much. I have known Honorable Bakari for some time in many areas in what he does in the ministry. So without further ado, for joining us, let's put our hands together as we welcome him to come and give his special remarks before we unveil the report for today. Thank you very much, Honorable Bakari.
Thank you, Joshua. You should have told them where we met. I used to work for Central Bank, and I was the deputy receiver manager of, which bank is that? Imperial Bank. And the CEO then of KCB, who wanted to take over the good book. We were discussing about good book, bad book. That is where we met. Anyway, our chief guest, the keynote speaker, Mr. Franklin Omwiti, the Chief Executive Officer of Nairobi Securities Exchange, our Chief Executive for Stanbic Kenya and Southern Sudan, my friend Dr. Joshua Igara, the board chairman, Mr. Mugandi, and the board members present. I'm told there is a CEO of MSME here, Mr. Henry Ridha, CPA Charles Mativo, the CEO of Kenya Industrial Estate, Ms. Judy Njino, the Executive Director of UN Global Compact Network, our esteemed partners, investment communities and clients, members of the Fifth Estate, members of the Kenya Leadership Council, management of Stanbic, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning again. It gives me great pleasure to preside over the Stanbic Kenya 2023 Sustainability Report. This report that details how the environmental, social, and governance risks were managed is a transformation shift towards sustainable practice and global competitiveness. I commend the board and the management of Stanbic for embracing ESG practices not only as a strategic commitment to environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and robust governance, but also as a tool for creating inclusivity. This year's theme of creating shared value by living our purpose is a demonstration of the institutional commitment towards inclusivity, especially in the financial realm. The role of government basically is greening the financial sector. And then the role of the banks is to provide green finance. There's a very big difference there between greening finance and green financing. So it's the role of government is greening the financial sector. And the government has reviewed its commitment in greening the Kenyan financial sector to enhance the Kenyans' attractiveness as a green finance hub. CBK, I'm reliably informed that it has developed the green finance taxonomy in addition to the guidance issued to the banks in 2021 on climate-related risk management. The government is committed and will always commit in mitigating the risk of climate change. Let me drive you through this journey. In 2014, Kenya Green Bond Agenda Initiative was launched by government. In 2016, the Green Economy and Implementation Strategy was developed. In 2018, the National Policy on Climate Finance was developed. In 2018 to 2022, the NDC and the National Climate Change Action Plan was developed. What have we done since we came into office? His Excellency, under the leadership of His Excellency the President. First, let me say that the Vision 2030, the social pillar of the Vision 2030, aims to attain a clean, secure, and sustainable environment by 2030 by conservation of strategic resources and conservation financing, among other ways. Our bottom-up economic transformation agenda aims to address the economic challenges to have economic growth, which is sustainable, resilient, and inclusive. For the last 1 year, or since this administration came into force, National Green Fiscal Incentive Policy Framework has been approved by Cabinet. This framework will steer Kenyan economy into carbon climate resilient green pathway. And it will shift the consumption patterns and drive private investments into green projects and programs. And will guide MDAs in the mobilization of capital to fund green initiatives. This administration has also approved the Kenya Sovereign Green Bond Framework. I know when I used to work at Capital Market Authority, we had a corporate bond green framework, and I was privileged to be part of the team which launched the first corporate green bond, that was Econ. Now we are looking forward to issue a sovereign green bond, and the framework has already been approved by the cabinet. But that's not enough. This administration has also approved the establishment of a green investment fund to support climate change mitigation and adaptation financing and green growth. That Green Investment Fund will be administered by the Kenya Development Corporation, which is a state agency under my State Department. We have $40 million seed capital, and its role is to de-risk SMEs who wants to venture in green opportunities. And we are de-risking not through lending, but through equity investments. Similarly, last year, the first ever climate summit was held in the continent, was held in Kenya, and concrete resolutions were agreed upon. Again, at the COP28 last year, government of Kenya made a commitment to champion the transition to green industrialization initiative in Africa to be coordinated by His Excellency the President. In line with this objective, and though Kenya is largely a clean energy country with over 92% green power, we are targeting to enhance this to 100% by 2030. Government is promoting development of eco-industrial parks in Naivasha by leveraging on the geothermal power at source to spur manufacturing. That industrial park will be powered by 100% green energy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenyan market size, the diversity, and the strategic location or strategic geopositioning in the region offers good scope for companies to scale their investments. It is in realization of these natural and competitive business advantages in Kenya that the government, through our ministry, is continuously reviewing its business and investment climate. Towards this end, Business Reform Action Plan Coordinating Committee has been established, comprising of both captains of industries and governments to prioritize the reform agenda, and the Kenya Bankers Association is part of this coordinating committee. This committee will focus on key thematic areas, including taxation regime, energy, export-led growth, and financing as critical pillars in enabling investments. Additionally, the ministry, in addition to its One Start, One Go Center at Kenya Investment Authority, it has set up a Karibu Business Support Center to help business in facilitations. This development committee has so far identified 175 business reform issues, which have been classified into policy, legal, and administrative areas, and a work plan has already been developed for resolving 75 priorities business issues. My State Department's goal is to increase the level of private investments into the Kenyan economy. It can either be domestic investment or foreign investment. It can be attracting new investment or expanding existing investment. And it can be to target those investors who want to invest in us or invest with us. For the last 1 year, we have achieved the following qualitative and quantitative achievement. Through the leadership of Excellency the President, Kenya has been rated #1 by FDI Intelligence as the country with the greatest investment momentum. Under the leadership of His Excellency the President, Bloomberg has rated Kenya as the Singapore of Africa. But quantitatively, Kenya was rated #1 in terms of startup funding. We've managed to attract $800 million as per the Africa Investment Report. But in terms of domestic investment, in 2022, credit to private sector was around 380 billion. In 2023, it had increased to 480 billion. We've been able to attract 100 billion more in terms of investment financing. In terms of FDI, we've been able to double the FDI into this country as per the UNCTAD report In 2022, we were around 750 million, and in 2023, we are at 1.5 billion US dollars. The incentive regime in Kenya is threefold. We have general incentives under our legal framework, but we also have special incentives under our special economic zones, our egg processing zones, and a legal framework for special operating framework for investment of not less than 10 billion Kenya shilling. We can agree on the tax rates to be applicable. But now we are working with IFC on developing a performance-based incentive framework. We are going to give you incentives based on what you are going to achieve from you in terms of the jobs created and the impact it will have in line with our bottom-up economic transformation agenda. In conclusion, let me reiterate that as government, we will continue to seek ways to adjust to the emerging uncertainties while maintaining a favorable ecosystem, an environment that balances economic growth and environmental conservation and social development for a more inclusive and sustainable economy. We look forward to the continued partnership with Stanbic Bank to not only to enhance the SG targets, but also to create shared value to our citizens, the region, and the world as a whole. Before I say thank you, the CEO of NAC stated or mentioned a very important issue. He said that the problem we have, it is not availability of finance. The problem we have is sometimes not even the access to these funds. The problem we have is on origination and structuring of projects which are bankable. That's what you said, right? And I believe in that because investors do not invest in a country. They don't invest in a potential of a country. They invest in a project. And if our goal is to have a private sector investment-led economic growth, private sector, when they invest, they need a project, and the project must make economic sense. So there's a lot of opportunity there in originating, for a lot of opportunity for our SMEs and our experts to help our SME in originating and structuring business deals with. I was today with the chairman of Stanbic before we came here, and he was saying the main problems with many business is not the people but the business model. We need to have a project with a business model that makes sense to private investor. With those many remarks, I say thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Abu Bakar. Let's give him another round of applause. Indeed, Kenya is the Singapore of Africa. And thank you for being at the forefront in championing sustainable investments in the region. And we are looking forward to partnering together. As we move on to the next item in the agenda, more exciting stuff to come. At Stanbic, we recognize that MSMEs and SMEs are a key contributor to Kenya's economy. And as such, we are walking the journey with them, providing concessionary funding and grant funding. And I would like to invite my colleague, Pauline Bayer, to join me on stage as we award the grant winners for cohort 4. As she comes up, allow me to play a video from the President and CEO of USADF, Mr. Travis Adkins. Please, let's see the video.
Jambo Ndugu Nadada. My name is Travis Adkins, and I'm the President and CEO of the U.S. African Development Foundation. It is my pleasure to congratulate the Cohort 4 winners of the MSME Growth and Entrepreneurship Program. a collaborative initiative between USADF and the Stanbic Kenya Foundation. Your dedication, innovation, and hard work have earned you this remarkable achievement. At USADF, entrepreneurship is a cornerstone of our mission, as we believe supporting entrepreneurs is essential for sustainable economic growth. We recognize the importance of MSMEs as critical drivers of Kenya's economy, employing over 14 million Kenyans and contributing approximately 40% of the GDP. However, challenges such as limited access to finance and markets often hinder the growth of these enterprises. Through our partnership with the Stanbic Kenya Foundation, we aim to catalyze MSME growth in Kenya by enhancing business competitiveness, access to finance, and market opportunities. By supporting your early stage companies and helping you build the capacity to access commercial funding, we are investing in you as the future leaders of Kenya's economy. The diverse sectors represented by our Cohort 4 winners is truly inspirational. From poultry farming, fashion and footwear, to nutrition, solar technology, vocational training, and more, your ventures showcase the incredible range of talent and innovation present in Kenya. I am also thrilled to see women and youth represented in this cohort so strongly, as their participation is critical for fostering inclusive growth and driving forward the entrepreneurial spirit in all corners of society. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to you, our partners at the Stanbic Kenya Foundation. Your support and collaboration have been instrumental in making this program a success. Together, we are committed to nurturing the entrepreneurial spirit that drives Kenya's economy and contributes to the well-being of its people. Congratulations once again to all the winners. Your success exemplifies the transformative power of entrepreneurship, and we look forward to seeing the incredible impact you will have in your communities. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Allow me to welcome Pauline. Please join me on stage, and Timothy Nzioka. So one of our key pillars in sustainability is financial inclusion and job creation. And through partnership with USADF, we've been able to do just that. And I'll allow Pauline and Mr. Timothy to let us know and explain a little bit more about the partnership and the impact that we've created.
Good morning. I'll just acknowledge our chief guest, Mr. Frank Mwiti. I'll also acknowledge our guest from the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Industrialization, Honorable Abubakar Hassan. I'll also want to acknowledge our board chair, our board members, our chief executive, Dr. Joshua Igara, fellow KLC members, members of the press, as well as our beneficiaries. I think for us it gives us great pleasure this morning to actually show what our chief executive did say in terms of putting action to what we commit to. So we'll briefly be sharing with you some success that we've achieved, as you have seen on the video there. But before I invite our partner to give a bit of detail about our partnership, I just wanted to emphasize a couple of things based on the speakers who've gone before. For us, the government continues to be a very, very key partner in everything we do. In 2019, when the foundation was established, the first thing we did is sort of partnership with the Ministry of, then it was MITI, then it was Ministry of Trade, Industry, and SMEs. Through that partnership, we've been able to go to 4 counties. We've had a lot of work on the ground, and we've now then since gone to another 6 counties through the same partnership, worked with the ministry, several agencies, KIE, as you mentioned, Your Excellency, Micro and Small Enterprise Authority, our partners on the ground, Kenya Bureau of Standards. Why are we doing this? Because we believe that that segment is a very crucial segment in terms of what we've done. What did we do? We committed close to 30 million to support SMEs that had been affected by COVID. Most of those SMEs had closed their businesses. We have very interesting success stories to tell about that. We do have, for example, and this speaks to, again, the job creation in terms of the work we're doing, a pilot who was retrenched by Kenya Airways, decided to reinvent himself, started a briquette manufacturing at the coast. He was from Mombasa, currently employing over 30 staff. We gave him a small injection in partnership with USADF here. And what he has done, he's now producing, and this speaks to now the environment and the sustainability, briquettes using coconut husks. He's supplying this to the hotels in Mombasa. Some of those hotels are our clients. So the linkages between initiatives such as what Stambik is doing, the role of government, and the climate discussion then shows that there is something there that needs to be done, and there's opportunity, and we're on the ground. Another example I'll give that speaks more or less to the same, under the same partnership, sponsored or gave grants of affordable credit to some businesses, essentially to catalyze them to scale their businesses. Some of these were in the space of blue economy, and I think it was mentioned by the Chief Executive of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. What we were told is that financing was not the issue. The timing of finance was the issue. So this is somebody who was going to buy a second boat. We had financed them to buy on a catalytic basis, catalyzing him to expand his business. And then he told us, and we were shocked when we learned that you can't finance throughout. You have to know when is the right time to finance because it's related to matters climate. So what was the issue with this boat and why he couldn't take the loan when we wanted to give him the loan? He said to us, with the movement of the moon, the fish also move from different parts of the ocean. So if he takes our facility in October, which is the month we wanted to give him, he'll not be able to pay us until January. What am I saying here? Is there's a very big linkage between what we are doing to support the micro enterprises, what are the challenges on issues climate, and how collectively we can make an impact in terms of what we are doing. Before I speak to now our partnership with USADF, I think the chief guest also spoke about social and economic inclusion. And part of what Priscilla has put on stage here is that a couple of years ago, the bank committed to put 20 billion to support women entrepreneurs or women in business, or dadas as we call them. You can see we've almost exhausted that amount of money. We are now at 19B. But what we can say again is that this for us was the start of a journey. It is a journey that is expanding. We, on the basis of what we've picked on the ground, are now moving to catalyze women in the green economy. So you'll be seeing us announce, we've already started doing it on the 2 programs we have, and we are learning lessons and then saying, how do we scale? So you'll be seeing us do a lot more stuff. Our chief executive has also committed to addition of financing for women. Again, for us, this is not social inclusion on its own. It is also trying to see how we can empower these women. Hopefully soon we'll be announcing, we have a serious ambition, and maybe through our chief executive, Joshua, I can mention that we do have an ambition to reach at least 5 million women over the next 5 years in terms of providing access to affordable capital, a lot of capacity building, and access to markets. And the model we are adopting is the model of our key messaging today, shared value. What do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? And collectively, how can we scale the impact that we are having on the ground? Now, thirdly, going to a partnership with USADF. This partnership was an inaugural partnership with the American government through USADF. Essentially, we were looking to support businesses that were not able to afford commercial loans. It was a financial inclusion, one of our key areas that our chief executive spoke to. How do you bring people who are not yet there, clean them up? We call them diamonds in the rough. Clean them up, and tomorrow they become the big businesses or the big tigers of the market. So far we've committed jointly with USADF, close to $2 million over the last 4 years. We have reached over 42 businesses. The process is competitive. We advertise in the national papers. we have had an impact of creating, and we are still harvesting the impact, 400 direct jobs. So if you take the pilot example I gave and the lady who was buying the boat, those are 2 examples. You support 1 person, they're employing 4 people, but indirectly the person with the boat has 17 fishermen. So if you just take that, the multiplier effect for job creation is huge. What we have also seen beyond the job creation is that there is growth in revenues. All these businesses start up with the catalytic fund or the catalyzing fund. Within the 18 months that we handhold them, most of them qualify for commercial loans. So from the 42 businesses that we've supported, we have seen a growth in revenue of 2.3. So for the bankers and the people of numbers in the room, put in an injection of 1.9. Within 2-3 years, the growth in revenue has been 2.3. So what is that telling us? We are not just catalyzing markets, we are making businesses grow, and we are creating the future tigers of this business. So I think for us is to say the partnership with USADF is a demonstration of our shared value. It is a demonstration. We also work with the USADF and the county governments and the ministry. And for us, it is something that we are scaling. We have seen by bringing like-minded partners together, we are able to do a lot more, and we are able to take the discussion further. One last challenge I'll put to our chief guest this morning. I did hear you speak about a green bond. A couple of years ago when Stanbic launched the DADA program, one of the financial development partners came to us and asked, do you have appetite for a gender bond? I will leave that at the table and invite my colleague and my partner here to tell us a bit more about the partnership from their side. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I will follow the cue of my colleague Pauline to appreciate all the guests who are present today. Mine is going to be very brief because you have already heard from our CEO and president. He has talked about our approach in support of SMEs, not only in Kenya, but focusing a lot more on the partnership with the Stanbic Foundation and the Stanbic Bank. I would like to say that this is a very interesting partnership for USADF. For those who are not familiar to the agency, we are US government agency, very small, operating in Africa. We are in 22 markets. And the partnership that we set up was to deepen the work that we do. Traditionally, we give grant capital and technical assistance. And in the 22 African countries, we have got country programs. And I would like to acknowledge the country program coordinator who is present here. Beth, please, if you can just stand. And our partner organization, the ZESAM. Please, can you all stand up? Thank you very much. Now, that is the team that is leading operations in Kenya. They take in SMEs, prepare them. When they are given loans, the grants, they provide technical assistance until they graduate. What does graduation mean for USADF? Graduation means that these SMEs are able to move from dependent on grant capital to go to the market. But more often than not, we find these SMEs are not investment ready. When they go to approach commercial investors, they are not found to be worthy of investment by commercial investors. And that is what brought us together with the Stanbic Foundation, so that we identify these challenges that are facing the SMEs. We help them with a small grant that is targeting to making them investment ready. And Pauline has already talked about some of the successes that we have seen. But as the chief guest has said, impact is not something that we see within the short term. Impact is something that we see in the medium to long term. But fortunately for us, we are able to see impact in the sense that when SMEs are able within 18 months to go back to commercial investors, pitch their investment, receive commercial investment. That is success for us. And that is what we are seeing within the last 4 years. Just for information, the partnership has been so successful that Stanbic Uganda approached us that we expand the partnership there. We completed our first cohort late last year, and we are preparing for the next cohort in the next 1 or 2 months. We are finalizing negotiation with the Stanbic Zambia, and we are hopeful that before the end of the year, we are going to have that operations up and running. We already initiated discussion with the Stanbic Malawi and Tanzania. So this is the way we see ourselves moving so that we get ourselves out of the market. If we can leave commercial investors working with SMEs, then our job is going to be done and we can focus elsewhere. So with those few remarks, thank you so much. And I'm happy, Joshua, to see you again. We worked together when we initiated the USAID programming in Kenya. That time we were focusing on Turkana, and I remember you coming forward with a grant to supplement what we were already doing in Turkana. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Timothy. Very touching stories indeed, and the great impact that we are creating in this country. As we kick off acknowledging the winners, allow me to invite our Chief Executive, Dr. Joshua Igara, to hand over the certificates. And I'll request from each company, we have 14 companies in total that we are awarding today. For each company, kindly send one representative to the front to receive the certificate. Faith, please help me dish out the certificates. And the first winner is Amor Business Systems and Venture Limited. Each company has won USD 50,000. And allow me to give a brief overview of Amor Business System. Their vision is to empower women tailors from disadvantaged communities to lead sustainable businesses through being part of a clothing supply chain that empowers them in their sourcing, production, and market linkages. Their mission is to provide world-class products at competitive prices, while at the same time giving a memorable shopping experience. Their products are locally made by women from disadvantaged communities. Amor sells fashion products for adults and children wear, both physically and online in the Kenyan market. These products are made by women, initially disempowered, but after support from Amor, are able to run their own successful tailoring business. Congratulations, Amor. I'll invite Pauline to join our Chief Executive as they hand over the certificates. Please give a round of applause. Thank you, Amor. The next winner is Shoes International Shoe Company. Please let's have one representative come to the front. And I'll give a brief overview. Their mission is to create the best quality, comfortable, and durable back-to-back shoes that give parents the best value for their money. Their purpose is to manufacture light and comfortable shoes that children will enjoy wearing all day long. They purchase leather soles and other inputs needed to manufacture shoes. They hire labor to manufacture the shoes and then sell them at a profit directly to consumers, institutions, and distributors. Congratulations, Shoes. Let's appreciate them, please. The next company is Rafiki Pay. And I'll give a brief description. Rafiki Pay Limited is the leading aggregator and processor of oilseeds in Kenya, with over 5,000 smallholder farmers supporting over 10,000 livestock keepers with affordable feeds, over 30 retailers dispensing quality natural edible oil to over 30,000 families. Their mission is to attain a 1 million strong smart agriculture supply value chain centered around youth and women in rural communities. Congratulations, Rafiki Pay. Thank you very much. I'll allow Dr. Joshua and Pauline to have a seat. For the next set of winners, I would like to invite PS Honorable Abubakar and Timothy Nzioka. So the next company is Menstrual Health for All Women and Girls. And the key project is Dial a Pad. They are also getting $50,000 US. Their vision is to achieve menstrual health and hygiene for all Kenyan girls and women by innovatively facilitating equitable access to hygiene and menstrual health products for every girl and woman, paying special attention to those in vulnerable situations. They want to democratize access to sanitary towels for school-going girls for uninterrupted education and quality education, and also achieve higher productivity and gender equality in the workplace for women. Their target market is women and girls of the reproductive age in Kenya, accessing dispenses predominantly from school and offices and public spaces. Congratulations. They're not here with us today. Okay. The next company is VAA Kenya Limited, and their project is to facilitate manufacturing of safety shoes by Karioko. They've also won $50,000. Their mission is to solve Africa's most significant challenges through innovation and trade, working with Kenya's informal manufacturers in designing and delivering functional and quality footwear and leather accessories for Kenyans. VAA Kenya facilitates the production of footwear and sells them through their platform at a markup. They do both retail and corporate sales. Congratulations, VAA Kenya. The next company is Nyota Limited, and the project is Frozen Aisle Distribution Scale-Up. They've also won $50,000. Nyota Limited was established with the aim of providing healthy, nutritious food that is quick, affordable, and easy to use, especially for the busy urban woman. Nyota Limited seeks to address post-harvest food losses, which account for 40% of the total food lost in Kenya. high poverty as a result of limited avenues to generate incomes for rural population, poor nutrition among urban populations, and exploitation of young small-scale rural farmers by a lengthy chain of exploitive middlemen. Consequently, Nyota Limited works with rural marginalized populations by providing a ready market for their fresh produce and directly engaging them in their production facility set up in the rural village within Gong sub-county of the wider Kajiado County. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And lastly, I'll allow our peers to take his seat and welcome Mr. Frank Mwiti as we acknowledge the next winner. Pauline, please join us as well. The next company is Green Grow International Limited, and the project is Kitengela Farm Setup. They've also won $50,000. Green Grow International Limited is an enterprise business that is focused on greenhouse farming and wants to leverage on the vast opportunities available in the agricultural sector to create employment in rural areas, contribute their quota in the growing Kenyan economy, and to export agricultural produce for profit. They farm vegetables and herbs, for example, basil, thyme, and the likes. Let's give an applause to Green Go Company International Limited. The eighth company that we are awarding today is Kamsa Poultry Limited, and their project is egg production expansion. They are located in Kisumu. They are also winning $50,000 US. If we can get the representative coming up. Kasma Poultry Limited endeavors to alleviate hunger and malnutrition in Kenya by producing affordable and making available high-quality protein alternative. Congratulations, Kamsa Poultry. The next company is Victoria Ecofarm, and the project is Victoria Ecofarm Biashara Acceleration Project. They also win $50,000 US. Victoria Ecofarm specializes in production of chicks at different stages from a day-old to mature parent stock. They also produce fertilized eggs for incubation, as well as offering hatching services to those who do not have incubators. They specialize in ornamental birds, such as peacocks, bantams, and the likes. They produce honey and also breed and sell dopa sheep and dairy goats. Their mission is to motivate as many youths as possible to venture into poultry farming and create a big poultry farmers network that will sell chicken and eggs in all areas of Kenya, as well as the neighboring countries. Their overall purpose is to become one of the leading commercial poultry farm and egg production brand, not only just in Western Kenya, but also in national stage. Congratulations, Victoria Ecofarm. Allow me to allow Frank to have a seat and welcome our board chair, Mr. Joe Muganda, joined by Timothy Nzioka. The 10th company we are awarding today is Gillette Fish Farms Limited, and the project is Promotion in Fish Farming in Kenya. They are also located in Kisumu, and they are winning $50,000. Gillette Fish Farms enhances access to affordable quality fish seeds for smallholder farmers and nutritious table-sized tilapia to Kenyan population. They offer a compelling portfolio of products to buy by availing, amongst others, exceedingly performance, finger-licking, and nourishing food fish. Congratulations, Gillette Fish Farms. Please give them a round of applause. The next company is Migori Institute of Beauty and Professional, and their project is enhancing employability of youth through vocational and skill development, training for financial stability. They provide quality technical research, entrepreneurship, and employable skills by empowering graduates for self-sustainability. They offer varied courses, among them being hospitality, beauty, therapy, among others. All courses are offered at different levels, and we are celebrating them today. Congratulations, Migori Institute. The next company is Mamlaka Medical Center, and the project is Mamlaka Center for Excellence for Diabetes and Hypertension. They're based in Nakuru. They're also winning $50,000. Mamlaka Health exists to empower lives through excellent health science and service. They seek to redefine healthcare in Kenya and bring back the care into healthcare. They do this through platforms which are Mamlaka Medical Services, their health hub, their foundation. And one of the objectives is to establish centers of excellence in health, with the first one being a center of excellence for diabetes and hypertension. Congratulations, Mamlaka Medical Center. I'll allow Mr. Chair to have a seat and invite Pauline and Director Rose to join me on stage for the next two companies. These are the last two companies we are awarding for the day. The first one is Plumby Whole Foods Limited, and their project is a healthy start for all children. They're based in Nyandarua. As a child-focused food company, their mission is to increase access to fortified, affordable nutrition by manufacturing products formulated to address specific nutrition gaps in the requirements of children in Kenya, consequently reducing the prevalence of childhood malnutrition in the country. They partner with rural smallholder women farmers in processing, thus encouraging their participation and boosting the economy in low-income populations. A round of applause for Plumby Whole Foods Limited. And last but not least, we have Solar Integrated Appliances Limited. Their project is Micromill Distribution Venture. They're based in Eldoret. They are also getting $50,000. Solar integrated appliances provide supply chain solutions for producers to reach the end market. Their primary product is solar portable lanterns and multi-light solar home systems from the various leading Verasol approved manufacturers. They also trade in high quality clean cook stoves, electric pressure cookers, and AGSO micromill. Let's celebrate solar integrated appliances. I'll invite all the companies that have been awarded today on stage for a group photo. Dr. Joshua, if you can join me, as well as the PS, Frank, Board Chair, and Edwin Mushai, please join us. Be a big photo. As you can see, diversity and inclusion is also key for us. All the companies awarded here cut across different sectors. We've got the green sector, we've got women, we've got youth, we've got the health system, we've got agriculture, and the like. Join me in congratulating all our winners. One last round of applause. Congratulations to all the winners. And finally, the time has come. And at this point, we want to unveil our 2023 Sustainability Report. I'll allow a few more people on stage. Kindly, if you can join me. Our chief guest, Mr. Frank Mwiti, PS, Honorable Abubakar, our board chair, our chief executive, and Mr. Edwin Mishai to join me on stage as we unveil our 2023 Sustainability Report. Please join me on stage. Dr. Joshua, if you can help us press the red buzzer for us to be able to unveil the report. After this, I'll invite a few more people on stage to take photos. Yes, please. I will count to 3, and at the count of 3, please press the buzzer. If the room can join me in counting, 1, 2, 3. Please don't leave the stage. I would like to invite a few KLC members to join us on stage as well for photos. Our KLC members, please. At least 3 of you, please come. Anjali, Nancy. What? Okay, all of you can come. The stage is big enough to accommodate us. Charles, Neema, Lillian. So the instructions will be, we hold it up for the photo. Vote of thanks. Thank you very much. Please have your seats as we give our vote of thanks. Thank you very much, and this marks the end of our session. Allow me to give the vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, today 3 things have actually emerged. The first one being the importance of partnerships, the role of innovation, and the vast potential opportunities that lie in our continent. I believe we've all been challenged in one way or another to continue to adapt and advocate for sustainability in our areas of operations and in our businesses. As has been reiterated, sustainability not only has a moral case, but also a business case. As we bring the event to a close, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all our stakeholders for their support and collaboration. At first, I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Frank Mwiti, for accepting our invitation and sharing thought-provoking remarks on the role of listed companies in driving sustainable development. We celebrate the NSC's contribution in championing the adoption of sustainable business practices in the region. I would like to thank our other special guest, Honorable Abu Bakar Hassan, for gracing us with your presence and challenging us as well. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you, our esteemed guests, who've played a significant role in Kenya's sustainability journey. Thank you for the group and our board members present here today. Your leadership and guidance has been a critical part of our sustainability journey. You've kept us accountable, given us strategic direction, and always supporting us on our sustainability commitments. Asante sana. A huge thank you to our Chief Executive and also our Chief Risk Officer for their continued commitments towards our purpose and our sustainability growth. Through your leadership and stewardship, we are driving a positive impact, not only in Kenya, but in our continent, and at the same time, enabling the growth of all our stakeholders. Our partners, USADF, Nature Kenya, UN Global Compact, GIZ, and many more. Thank you so much. Because of you, we are able to support job creation, financial inclusion, and sustainable living in our communities. Asante sana. Thank you to all our Stanbic colleagues who have worked so hard to make this event a success. Your diligence and commitment is a huge enabler of our sustainability achievements. To our suppliers and vendors, thank you for your excellent service. And our sincere gratitude to the members of the Fifth Estate, our media. Thank you for consistently pushing for accurate and credible reporting. You are an essential part of our sustainability journey. And lastly, thank you to each and every one of you who took your time to join us today to celebrate the launch of our sustainability report. I believe this has been a meaningful and engaging session. Together, let's continue journeying towards a responsible, sustainable future for all generations. Thank you, and have a great day. We'll have photo sessions for the members who've not had a chance to take photos after this. Other than that, there's still more food outside. Feel free to eat and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.